you know, I've been called every bloody name in the book, and that's been really, literally. I mean, I remember one day where I was called a Jewish shill and a Nazi the same day, you know, by two competing publications, and I thought maybe they canceled each other out, you know, but oh, you know. And that's been very hard on my family, you know, and although they're doing reason.
Like, you, I hate this shit. I hate this whole genre of victim complex POV. What do you think you're doing all day to marginalize people? You're tweeting out this shit. Like, you are so addicted to Twitter. You're one of the worst. Like, Jordan Peterson, it's like, he tweets every minute. It's like, bwomp, 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 bwomp. How are these ideas formulating in your head and gestating long enough for you to have the time to be like, this is worth the millions of people who follow me, like, to know right now on the spot? And every single time it comes out, it's like, mutilating genitals, children, trans kids, mutilations, blim, blim, blim. Talk about Jordan Peterson for a couple of minutes. I know he's not always at the forefront these days, what with his adventures and foibles. He has, like, the problem with Peterson is that he peaked way too hard this year, and like, it's so hard to get, like, we're never going to reach those heights. You know, like, I'm not a heroin user, but I've heard that, like, heroin's one of those drugs where you have to keep chasing the, quote, dragon to get that fix. And then time and time again, you're never going to get anything nearly as ridiculous. And the fact that the good doctor was fooled by cock-milking fetish porn into believing that it was a communist breeding program, and he took quite a righteous anger to that reality. I don't think we're ever going to see anything quite like that again, and that, it makes me sad. It does. I think that is peak Peterson. You know what? I'm going to say that. I don't know. I don't know if we're ever going to go wilder than that. I mean, we could. I'm here for it. The other day, he did get fooled by an April Fool's joke where he thought that Justin Trudeau was legitimately turning one of the lanes of Canada's, like, highway number 1, which is the highway that goes along the entirety of Canada, by the way. It's an incredibly long highway, but you can travel from one end of Canada to the other on the highway with, you know, there's obviously some complications once you get to parts out east or parts out west. But yes, there's this one highway. He got fooled into thinking that Justin Trudeau was going to turn it in one of the lanes into a bike lane. So it was going to be one super long, like the length of a continent, fucking bike lane from one end to Canada. So he got fooled by that. So that's funny, but it's not this, you know. It's not like Jordan Peterson just screaming triumphantly as he liberates endless seas of seamen from their prisons. Anyways, the reason I bring up the good doctor is because Jordan Peterson has some words of advice for all of you.
One of the things that torments me and constantly is
quite serious.
And I think it's really hurt me to discover this. Is I had no idea how deep the desperation was for people who lack encouragement. It's just because
Brett Weinstein, what are you doing here? What? We talk about ivermectin. Every time I see him, I'm just, whoa, ivermectin. It's like a jump scare.
Every time I talk about this, it makes me tear up because of what I've seen, I think. But all these people that I've met now, you know, I spoke when I went on my book tour, which was an unbelievable event. Unbelievable.
Okay. I got to put a quick disclaimer here, because I know a lot of people are probably going to think, Lance, are you about to mock a man for showing emotion? You always talk about how men should show more emotion. You always talk about how it's healthy and we shouldn't be shamed. And it's a beautiful thing to cry. It's because your heart is overflowing. That's what it means, you know? It's just a many splendid thing to shed a tear, especially if you're a dude. Never feel ashamed for it. You're all wonderful and beautiful. When it comes to Jordan Peterson and that expression and what he's talking about, the fact that there are a lot of people who are under incredible amounts of stress and desperation, especially young men, I also sympathize with this. I think it's true, and I think it should be listened to. And I think young men who are suffering, they need a place to go. They need healthy places to go where they're going to be built up, they're going to be loved, they're going to have a sense of family and community, and that's going to help them along their path to becoming the best possible men they could be. The reason Jordan Peterson is an evil, scurvy-ridden lobster of a man is because he takes those kind of men who are lost. He takes those kind of men who need guidance and need a pathway. He takes them and he fills their mind with cider. He fills their minds with hatred and goo and red pills. And it's just the absolute worst. And you can tell a lot of these people who have gone down the Jordan Peterson rabbit hole, well, they come at the other end angry, worse partners to women, not to mention transphobic as fuck. What was that? Just the side effect of all the, which of the 12 rules for, anyways, really, really bad. And it sucks, and it just keeps happening over and over and over again. And you see all these lost souls who are looking for anything and any kind of help, and along comes these books, and it's the revered, and oh, this is not like the other conservatives. This is an intellectual, you know. He's actually going to look at this not only from a psychological perspective, but he actually does this entirety of history. Like, he will go through mythologies. He'll talk about Greek gods. He'll talk about Roman gods. He'll talk about, polytheistic beliefs as well as monotheistic beliefs, the three great religions, how we come and how we all are telling these same similar stories, and how the Christian Bible is, in fact, the most important piece of literature in human history. You're going to love it. It's going to be great. It's going to help you out. It's going to make you a better person. And that's why we laugh.
Positive event, but also I would even say to some degree traumatically positive. Like, it was just too much. I really loved it, but
it was so amazing. It was such a powerful moment. All of them giving me money. You know, don't you know, they were all of them. They were giving me money, every single one. I just so much money.
To see the depth of hunger that people had for an encouraging word was unbelievably tragic. And for people to come up.
Oh, yeah.
Riverboat Jack, thank you very much for the rating party of 44. Welcome in, Raiders. Very good to see you. Can everyone go to twitch.tv/Riverboat Jack? Give her a follow back and welcome in if it's your first time here. We're just laughing at the good doctor. The scurvy king, Dr. Jordan Peterson. You know, you love, or you hate, most likely, if you're on this side of the political aisle, and we're having good times. Also, you should also follow Riverboat Jack, because she's putting in a lot of time in trying to get people out to canvass in a very important election that's coming up. Do not forget to participate. Yeah, and it's good to see all y'all. Welcome in.
To me repeatedly.
Okay, so we're already a minute in, and yes, the tears are flowing. Hold on.
Unbelievably tragic. And for people to come up to me repeatedly for an encouraging word was unbelievably tragic. And for clean up your room.
I'm going to have to do a lot of back and forth on this one. Nexus of Midnight, thank you. One of the reasons why I'm going to have to pause a couple times and take a step back is because, yes, I do want to laugh, and laugh I shall, at the horrifying transphobic Dr. Jordan Peterson and his many silly ways. But that is an important point that, again, I'm in 100% agreement with. I too have experienced this, especially amongst men who are very closed off or have difficulty speaking about their feelings and difficulty talking to anyone about their feelings. You will notice that a lot of them, even simple words of encouragement, because they're not used to hearing it, can almost feel alien and foreign, as in like, whoa, wait, what? Why did you say that? Where are we going with this? And it is important what Jordan Peterson's talking about. I stand by. Tell more people, more friends, more family, more people around you. Tell them how they're important to you, if they're important to you. How they matter to you, if they matter to you. That is good advice. And everyone doing that more often will be generally better for society writ large. Like all of society would be much better if people were just telling each other, hey, by the way, I don't know if you know this or if anyone's told you this, but you're actually kind of important to me. Here's why. Boom, that other person's probably going to be like, whoa, was not expecting this, but this is nice. +2 in this one, +3 HP, +4, luck, all that kind of stuff. My stats have all been upped. And then that person might want to go do it to someone else. Could have kind of, domino effect. Might be nice, that kind of shit. And now we return to laughing.
People to come up to me repeatedly, over and over and over, hundreds, maybe thousands of times, and say, I was in such desperate straits, looking.
And that's the shitty thing, because like someone who's in a desperate strait should not be going to the scurvy king. It's like, oh yeah, don't you know? Well, I have an idea. This probably could help us. You should probably tell women that lipstick denotes sexual energy, and they're all trying to tempt us. All the harlots and the dragon of chaos trying to destroy us all. Mother's brush.
For some encouragement, unable to find it. And then, I came across your lectures. I thought, Jesus, it's pretty thin gruel to feed a starving population. I mean, I'm absolutely pleased beyond belief that people have found.
Well, yes. Also, what would probably feed the starving population is food, which, you know, in large part, I'm guessing a lot of people, Jordan, is it cheap to see Dr. Jordan Peterson live? Are there still tickets available? Dr. Jordan Peterson live tickets. Beyond Order tour, is it over yet? Ticketmaster. Oh, they're on Ticketmaster. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, so, oh, you're coming to Abbotsford. That's close to me. All right, so if I wanted to see you in Abbotsford, how much do I pay? I agree. They start at $82 on Ticketmaster. $82. That's, all right. Am I revealing anything here? No, I don't think anything's on screen. No, okay. $82 for the floor. 101.75. Like, by the time Ticketmaster's done, it's $169 for 2 tickets. That's not nice. They could probably use that money. I'm guessing that's quite a bit of money for a lot of people, you know?
What I've done useful, but that doesn't decrease the impact of the realization of just how much hurt there is. And it is hurt that's grounded in a lack of encouragement. I have that. I've been encouraged my whole life. So, and that could easily be part of what. Now, you know, I also thought somewhat in a calculated way about this, like, and I don't know how far this goes back, but I also organized my life so that I was standing. I had legs out in many directions. I had a clinical practice. I had a business. I had my professorship. I had my writing. You know, I had multiple sources of income in pretty independent areas. And so I did that in part to maximize my capacity for freedom. I thought, well, and this wasn't something I think I thought explicitly, you know, it was part of what unfolded in my life across time. It wasn't easy to take me out, although I've been taken out a lot, like far more than I thought might be possible. I can't separate that exactly from intrinsic health problems, you know, but I despite my, you know, it isn't obvious to me that I can go back to the university. I'm still employed there. I'm on leave. They would take me back. I don't know if I can do it. I don't have my clinical practice.
First off, you've been making fucking bank. I just saw you're selling an Abbotsford Stadium tickets starting at $82 on Ticketmaster. What's that going to be by the time the surcharges are done? $140 for one fucking ticket to go see you in a fucking stadium? And there's probably going to be a fuck ton of people there too. You are printing cash, sir. You are not wanting. In order to go back to your old practice or to be able to even practice medicine if you lose your license or to be able to teach at a school again, yeah, most likely, I'm guessing the University of Toronto is not fucking gearing up to get Jordan Peterson back on their roster. No one wants this headache, you know?
This anymore, which I really miss. I love doing that. And that was 20 hours a week, you know, so that's a lot of time. I finished writing this book, but I'm not writing right now. And so I don't have any pressing financial concerns. And so that of course, that's a huge privilege, a huge benefit. And thank God for that. But despite me being distributed like that, I was still taken out pretty hard. So
yes, well, you know, I confess, I have wondered while you were incommunicado over the last year, whether that was just.
Oh, I just want to show you why Brett Weinstein might have been incommunicado over the last year. I've got some insider sources on this one.
But given the apparent effectiveness of ivermectin at preventing COVID, given the fact that we are not vaccinated and therefore are more vulnerable to contracting it, I feel like I should be on it because as much as no drug is perfectly safe, I feel the danger of COVID in the world is much greater than the danger that comes from taking this stuff.
Brett, you don't say. Well, if that's the case, why not just take the vaccine, you fucking wank?
It doesn't have to be taken frequently. You take it 2 doses, 48 hours apart, and then I think it's weekly.
Looks like a large dose.
There is no telling. I want to use the same standard of safety that the ape. There you go. You decide if you want to take that.
I have been thinking about this, but I'm not going to make a decision. You're not making a decision. At the first moment that you confront me with it.
Fair enough.
I would hope that no one would actually, that you think on it, and you know, we've been sort of enmeshed in this for.
that's Brett Weinstein.
Goliath's good fortune, or if there might be something more to it, because you were such a singular voice at the point that Tammy got sick and then you did, that obviously it was a tremendous blow to those of us in
Yeah, I don't care about the family stuff.
To me before when journalists had written a hit piece about me.
Oh,
It was
Penguin, cool.
extremely
Thank
stressful
you.
because when it happens, you do not know.
Oh, hell yeah. I just got back from voting for Brandon Johnson. Hell yeah, for mayor here in Chicago. Polls close in 2 hours. Well done, Penguin. Way to do your democratic duties. I really want to visit Chicago. I've never been. There's a handful of American cities that I've always wanted to see. Chicago's one of them.
Which way it's going to go. And, you can get unlucky and a number of bad things can happen to you simultaneously. All that has to happen is for that to happen once to exceed your capacity to deal with the number of bad things and you're out. That's basically an accident. And I really think that's what happened to me in the last few years is that everything that happened socially was unbelievably stressful, positive and negative. The positive end of it was extremely intense and amazingly compelling and interesting, but the negative end was really, really stressful. And I notice what happens to people, generally speaking, and I don't think I'm making this up, is, I've watched the typical person who gets mobbed on Twitter will get mobbed by 20 people. And it'll last for 2 or 3 days. And they'll apologize like mad. They're so stressed out, they retreat right away. And it's really hard on them. And that happened to me, like, I don't know how many times, 100 times, 200 times, and really publicly. I've been called every bloody name in the book, and that's been really, literally. I mean, I remember one day where I was called a Jewish shill and a Nazi the same day, by 2 competing publications. And I thought maybe they canceled each other out, but, and that's been very hard on my family, and although they're doing reason.
Like, fuck you. I hate this shit. I hate this whole genre of fucking victim complex POV. What do you think you're doing all day to marginalize people? You're tweeting out this shit. Like, you are so addicted to Twitter. You're one of the worst. Like, Jordan Peterson, it's like, he tweets every minute. It's like, bwah, 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 bwah. How are these ideas formulating in your head and gestating long enough for you to have the time to be like, this is worth the millions of people who follow me, like, to know right now on the spot? And every single time it comes out, it's like, mutilating genitals, children, trans kids, mutilations, blim, blim, blim.
Well under the circumstances. But then, Tammy got sick terribly and in a really nasty way. And then her surgery was complications multiplied and she was near death daily for months. And then this proclivity I had for depression seemed to have become untreatable, and that took me out. And so,
that's all. This is like the part of the story that I know is very sad.
So terrible that I can't think about it without it being traumatic. So I have a hard time figuring out where to place my mind because this has been happening. It's been happening every day, really.
Oh, I can't watch you anymore. You're not giving me any information that I don't already know, Jordan. I was hoping. Oh yeah, this was the this thing I was talking about that he fell. One lane along the 8,000 kilometer highway will be repurposed from motor vehicles to bicycles and other human powered transportation, says Justin Trudeau. This idiot country is sheathed in ice 7 months of the year into Trans-Canada Highway, an undeveloped national disgrace. 5,000 bloody miles long. Is there nothing so stupid you won't do it, Justin Trudeau? Yeah. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demmel, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earthhuman, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tao, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojack, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Nkosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.